Walk into almost any dealership in 2026 and you'll notice something weird. The same German cars just sitting there, week after week. These aren't supposed to be hard sells. They've got luxury badges, new tech, big price tags, everything that should make people want them. But buyers aren't biting. Some of these lost value way faster than expected. Others, people just don't trust them. And a few, honestly, they just miss the mark completely. Today, we're breaking down 7 German cars that dealers can't get rid of right now. And yeah, a couple of these are going to surprise you. Stick around to the end because one of these dropped so hard it makes no sense. And let me know in the comments which one you'd still take the risk on.
Number 7. Volkswagen ID4 2026. All right, let's start with something that should have been a home run, but somehow ended up warming the bench. The 2026 Volkswagen ID4. Now, on paper, this thing checks all the boxes. It's electric, it's practical, it's got that clean European design, and it comes from a brand people actually recognize. Sounds like a perfect daily driver, right? Yeah, that's what everyone thought. Then reality hit. The biggest problem, even in 2026, it still feels unfinished. While competitors have moved to physical buttons or better interfaces, the ID4 is still sticking to that laggy infotainment and those weird touch-sensitive sliders. Simple things like adjusting climate settings still feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle while driving at 70 miles per hour. And let's be honest, nobody wants to fight a touchscreen just to turn on the AC. Then you've got the performance. It's not terrible, but in a world of snappy EVs, this thing moves like it's constantly overthinking. You press the pedal and it's like, give me a second to process that. Now here's where it really starts to hurt. The inventory crisis. Right now, the ID4 has become the slowest selling car in America. We are talking about an average of 143 days of supply sitting on dealer lots. That is double the industry average. Dealers are sitting on massive amounts of 2026 units that just aren't moving because without the federal tax credits they used to have, the math just doesn't add up for the American consumer anymore. You'll see rows and rows of these at your local VW dealer, with prices slashed and heavy incentives attached, and still, the lots stay full. It's not that the ID4 is a terrible car, it's worse than that. It's just forgettable. And in a 2026 market where every dollar counts, that's enough to kill it. Number 6. Audi A3 2025. Now this one's confusing because the Audi A3 is supposed to be the smart entry into luxury. Small, clean, premium badge. It's the car that says you've made it even if you're just starting out. And from the outside, it actually looks pretty good. Sharp lines, modern headlights, that typical Audi, I've got my life together vibe. But here's the problem. Once you get past the badge, it starts to feel like a dressed-up economy car. And in 2026, buyers are noticing. The interior looks premium at first glance, big screens, nice layout, but then you start touching things. A lot of hard plastics. A lot of, this feels cheaper than it should for a luxury brand. It's like Audi spent all the budget on the exterior design and then just ran out of money for the cabin. Performance? It's fine. It's a 2.0-liter turbo that gets the job done, but nobody's bragging about it. This thing isn't winning races, it's barely winning conversations. But here's the shocking number that explains why this car is on this list. The Audi A3 has been sitting on dealer lots for an average of 468 days. Think about that. That is over a year of these cars just sitting there, collecting dust and losing value every single day. Why? Because the price for a new 2025 model has crept up so much that buyers are asking a dangerous question. Why not just spend a little more for an A4 or save a lot of money and get a fully loaded Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla? The A3 is stuck in no man's land. It's not cheap enough to be a bargain, and it's not luxurious enough to justify the Audi premium. Dealers are desperate to move these 2025 units to make room for 2026 models, but even with massive discounts, people just aren't reaching for the keys. It's a ghost town in the A3 section of the lot. Number 5. BMW 4 Series 2026. All right, now we're getting into a car that looks like money, but in 2026, it's mostly just sitting on the lot collecting dust. The 2026 BMW 4 Series. And yeah, we got to talk about it, because this car should be a winner. Rear-wheel drive, solid performance, that legendary BMW driving feel. But then, BMW decided to do something bold, or, depending on who you ask, something questionable. That front grille. You've seen it, that massive, vertical, why is it staring at me like that grille. Some people say it's aggressive. Most people, they just say it's hard to look at. And here's the thing. Design matters more than people admit, especially when you're dropping serious money on a luxury coupe. But it's not just about the looks anymore. The numbers tell a darker story. In the first half of 2026, sales for the 4 Series have plummeted by nearly 50%, while BMW's SUVs like the X3 and X5 are breaking sales records. The 4 Series is being left behind. Why? Because the market has shifted. The price for a new 2026 model is steep, often pushing past the $55,000 mark. At that price point, buyers are getting extremely picky. They don't want controversial. They want something that looks clean and timeless, something they won't regret every time they walk up to it in a parking lot. Then there's the identity problem. The 4 Series is caught in a weird spot. It's not as practical as the 3 Series sedan, and it's not as flashy as the 8 Series. It's a compromise that fewer and fewer people are willing to make. Don't get it twisted. Performance-wise, it's still a BMW. It's quick and it handles like a dream. But in 2026, that's not enough. People aren't just buying how a car drives, they're buying how it makes them feel. And right now, a lot of buyers are walking up to the 4 Series at the dealership, looking at that front end, and slowly backing away toward the SUV section. Dealers are now stuck with a growing inventory of these coupes, offering aggressive lease deals and thousands off MSRP just to get them moving. But even with the discounts, the 4 Series is proving that no matter how good it drives, people just can't get past the face.
Number 4. Audi A6 2025. Now this one hurts a little, because the Audi A6 used to be that car. Quiet luxury, clean design, executive vibes, the kind of car that made people think, yeah, this person's doing all right. But in 2026, it's just sitting. And the reason is actually pretty brutal. It's not that the A6 is bad, it's that it's getting completely overshadowed. First problem, it's stuck in no man's land. It's not as flashy as an A7, not as high status as an A8, and not cheap enough to feel like a smart buy. It's just there. And buyers feel that. You walk into a dealership, see a new A6, and instead of getting excited, you start thinking, should I just go bigger for an SUV or save money and get something else? That's a dangerous place for any car to be. But here's the shocking number for the A6. In many parts of the country, the Audi A6 has an average of 409 days of supply. Some specific trims, like the S6, are reaching nearly 500 days. That means there are brand new 2025 models that have been sitting on the lot for almost a year and a half. Now let's talk about the depreciation trap, because the A6 loses value faster than almost anything else in its class. It's scaring away new car buyers. When people see that a slightly used one is worth 40% less after just 1 year, they refuse to pay the $60,000 plus sticker price for a new one. Then there's the driving experience. It's smooth, comfortable, quiet, but also kind of boring. This isn't a car you dream about, it's a car you end up with. And in today's market, especially with flashier designs and high-tech SUVs everywhere, boring doesn't move metal. So what happens? They sit on dealer lots. Clean, well-built, still premium, and still getting passed over. Because at the end of the day, the Audi A6 didn't do anything wrong, it just didn't do enough to stand out. And in 2026, that's exactly why the lots are full of them.
Number 3. Mercedes-Benz EQS 2025.
The EQS was supposed to be the S-Class of electric cars, the ultimate flagship that would redefine the entire Mercedes-Benz brand. But by 2026, it has become one of the most expensive paperweights on dealer lots. The first issue is the design. Let's be real, for a car that costs well over $100,000, it lacks any sense of occasion. Instead of the majestic presence of a traditional S-Class, you get this rounded, egg-shaped profile that many critics compare to a melted bar of soap. In a market where luxury is about making a statement, the EQS just looks like a generic futuristic shuttle. But the shocking numbers are what's truly killing this car. The EQS is currently facing a depreciation bloodbath, losing nearly 50% of its value within the first year of ownership. This has created a massive inventory crisis. New car buyers are terrified of the financial hit, so they're walking away, leaving rows of these six-figure EVs gathering dust. To try and fight this, Mercedes has been forced to offer some of the most aggressive incentives in its history, sometimes slashing $20,000 off the MSRP just to get one to leave the lot. Yet, even with those massive discounts, the inventory continues to pile up. Inside, the Hyperscreen is impressive, but it can't hide the fact that the EQS feels more like a high-end gadget than a soul-stirring luxury car. It's silent, it's fast, but it's emotionally empty. For the luxury consumer in 2026, it's just not enough to justify the price tag.
Number 2, the Volkswagen Tiguan 2026. This is the definition of a car that nobody hates, but somehow in 2026, nobody really wants it either. The 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan. On paper, this should be flying off the lot. It's a mid-size SUV, has decent space, and carries that German badge people usually trust. But the reality in the dealer lots is very different. The Tiguan is currently facing a massive 28.6% drop in sales, and there's a very specific reason why. It's getting completely lost in the crowd. While competitors like Toyota and Honda are doubling down on hybrids that get 40 mpg, the Tiguan is still relying on a traditional gas engine that feels, frankly, outdated. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering plain chicken when everyone else is serving steak. And let's talk about performance. This thing is slow. In a world where even family SUVs are becoming snappy and electrified, the Tiguan feels like it's constantly overthinking. You press the gas to merge onto the highway, and it's like the car is saying, "All right, give me a second to get ready." The interior is clean and functional, but that's the problem. There's no wow factor. When buyers walk into a dealership and see a price tag between $30,000 and $40,000 for a new 2026 model, they immediately start looking at the hybrid options next door. So what happens? They sit. You'll see rows and rows of them at VW dealerships, white, silver, black, all telling the same story. I made sense 5 years ago, but nobody is picking me today. The Tiguan isn't a bad car, but it's not good enough to compete in 2026, and that's exactly why the lots are full of them, waiting for incentives that might never be enough to move them.
Number 1. Mercedes-Benz S-Class 2025. And here it is, the car that's supposed to be the ultimate symbol of success, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class 2025. For decades, this car meant one thing: you made it. It was the CEO car, the gold standard. So how does the best car in the world end up rotting on dealer lots? Simple. The world changed and the S-Class lost its crown. Let's talk about the shocking numbers. Mercedes-Benz is currently struggling with a massive inventory surplus, with their luxury car stock sitting 33% higher than BMW's. While the 7 Series is moving, the S-Class is staying put. New, this thing is pushing $115,000 to $130,000 plus, but the depreciation is now a total bloodbath. We're seeing 2025 models losing nearly $30,000 in value the moment they hit the pavement. And at that price point, buyers are asking, why a sedan? The ultra-wealthy have moved on. They want G-Wagons, Range Rovers, or Cullinans. The S-Class, once the king of the road, now feels old school in a way that doesn't command the same respect it used to. Then there's the complexity fear. Everyone knows that once that warranty is gone, this car can turn into a financial nightmare. With the new MBUX systems and complex sensors, repairs in 2026 are costing more than a used Corolla. But the real reason it's number one: oversaturation. Mercedes-Benz produced too many, expecting the same old demand, but the buyers just aren't there. Dealers are desperate. They have rows of flagship sedans that cost them thousands in interest every month just to keep on the lot. It's a ghost town in the S-Class section. The S-Class didn't become a bad car, it just became irrelevant in the world that moved to SUVs and high-tech EVs. And that is how the king of luxury ended up as the number one car nobody wants to buy in 2026.